Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the GOMTV Blizzard Cup. Blizzard Cup. It is actually, there actually is a big cup in the back. It's, here it is right here. This is the Blizzard Cup.
What do they mix in your tea?
I don't know. A cup is a term, by the way, for
whatever
a
it is. I want to sip.
It's just green tea. It's actually, I'm really glad there's... By the way, if you do come down to the GSL studio, we've got free Pepsi. And we've got green tea, we've got water, and coffee as well.
Don't forget the cappuccino.
And oh, right, I forgot about the cappuccino machine that we have.
No, that thingy that we have. The powder stuff, that's not coffee.
It's not coffee?
No, that's not coffee.
Oh, I thought it was coffee.
No.
Shows what I know.
It's the best thing that can happen to us right now because it's getting so cold in Seoul. And finally, when you walk down the studio, you're like shivering all over, and then you get a cup of coffee, and it's like, yes! And every single time I'm here, I actually want to bring a real cup because those things are just too small. And every time I forget about it. I want to buy one and just bring it here so that I can drink a whole cup, and I always forget it. It's so annoying.
You know what? Usually you get here a little bit early, right?
Yeah.
Next time, when you get here and you realize that you forgot, just run back to the Goodwill store or something like that and buy one.
Go back out in the cold?
Yeah.
Are you crazy?
It's only like 3 minutes walk to the Goodwill.
3 minutes of my life that I will never get back. 3 freezing minutes of my life that I will never get back at that.
Oh, wear a coat.
Don't be ridiculous.
Anyway, I'm glad that there's green tea here because my voice is starting to get a little bit raspy because I have been so excited by these games. This may be the final game. We're going to find out in just a minute. And down here at the bottom right-hand corner of the map, it's not really a corner actually, but this guy used to practice mixed martial arts. He can kick your butt in real life and in Starcraft he is.
MMA.
Slayers MMA, also known as
That's not green tea.
All right, and the top up here
no chance
at
that
the
is
top
green tea.
left is
GSL Polt.
this is the guy that's gunning fools down in StarCraft so much they call him the Polt 45.
Also known as Okay.
I've killed Kaldor here.
Yes, you did.
Sorry. If you guys want to find out what Kaldor says to his friends after his death, you can go to his Twitter, at Kaldor, Khaldor. I am at Moletrap, by the way, if you guys want to follow me. Find out more stuff. Lately, I've actually been tweeting because I did some traveling when I was in Busan. Did some traveling, and I got to see a fortress down there, and like the Jagalchi fish market, which is famous in Busan. I tweeted some pictures of that stuff, so if you want, you can check me out on there. If you don't want to see that kind of thing, that's fine too. Polt has gone ahead and hid his barracks up in the top of his base, by the way, just to kind of mess with MMA a little bit.
By the way, I wanted to mention something in the early stages of this game. There was something I wanted to say, and now that joke just threw me off by so much that I have no idea what it was.
Sorry. I'm sure it was important. I apologize to the viewers for.
I actually have to say that it was the best one you pulled so far.
What? Ma?
Ma.
You like that one?
Yeah, that one was great.
So Polt is actually, this is interesting, he's gone for the Reaper. MMA's gone for the one barracks expansion build. He's built the expansion in his main though, so it's going to be a little bit protected. But Reaper is on the way, and a second gas is being, two gases being taken now by MMA. Pretty standard to follow up the expansion with 2 gases to try and catch up in tech.
I have another thing that I want to say. It's not what I just forgot about, but I already tweeted about it about a second ago. I'm really enjoying casting the Blizzard Cup. It is amazing to be in Korea. It's amazing to cast for the GSL. And I want to give a huge shout out to all my fans out there. And thank you very much, because without you, it would have never been possible for me to come here.
Awesome. Same here, actually.
Okay, back to StarCraft 2.
Back to Starcraft 2.
Back to Polt against MMA. Moltra explained the situation in the group earlier. Right now we have the possibility of a three-way tie between Polt, Lenok and MMA. If MMA takes this game, he will advance as the first player in the group. If Polt wins, we will have additional matches.
Yeah. And Polt's going to go ahead and put down more barracks. And man, Polt, he is... Oh, there he shows the Reaper. He's going to go ahead and take out that SCP. Is he going to... There he goes.
Wow, immediately when MMA saw that one Reaper, he immediately pulled off one SCV from his mineral line and sent it over to the cliff so that he could scout in the back if there was another one. And now he builds that supply depot in order to scout that same position. Very, very smart.
And here comes those Reapers. They're explosive grenades that they can use to kill buildings even faster than they kill light units.
MMA actually has a personal coach. He has a coach from Slayers. That's one of the things that Boxer introduced to StarCraft 2 in StarCraft Boot Boy. It was quite common to have personal coaches, and he has one person that just analyzes all his games, analyzes the playstyle of his opponent, and he tells MMA what to do. They discuss the strategies, and he actually tells MMA before the games what kind of strategy he should use against his opponent and what kind of opening. So every time you see MMA go for a double barracks, it will be an order by the coach that he has. And those two really work together quite well. Ooh. And I have seen him with his equipment and everything. That guy is really great at analyzing matches. And I have to say that's just taking esports to such a new level. That's something that we don't have in Europe just yet. But it reminded me of the coaching that you have in other sports.
That's cool.
Football, for example.
Yeah, and yeah, that coach is probably aware of the fact that Polt always goes bio. It's just something that he does. I mentioned this before, and someone told me, I'm not sure this is true or not, but someone told me that he was just committed to bio and he just wanted to keep playing it until mech was completely the way to go. But either way, Polt just loves to go bio. Now, I'm not sure what MMA is going to be up to just yet. He does have a tank out. It looks like he's probably just going to go for... Well, actually, we're not quite sure what MMA is going to be up to yet. Probably Marine tank. But anyway, Polt definitely loves to go bio. Mass bio in TVT. And he's lost some games as a result because, you know, if you have just a bunch of siege tanks, bio just charging into a bunch of siege tank fire is going to die. And here comes a little bit of a drop from MMA. Just kind of a little poke, a little prod. Not expecting to do much. And he might get a little bit, but yep, it's going to fall back. And the medevac does escape.
Did you just realize how amazing Polt is? He didn't lose a single SCV. I mean, he attacked right away with the Marines, but nonetheless, those Marines shot at the mineral line, and Polt moved those SCVs.
Oh, he was actually physically moving them. Oh, that's actually pretty amazing. I didn't realize that. And oh, he's going to lose the medevac. The medevac dies. The Marines die. That is horrible for MMA. Loses a good chunk of his units there.
When MMA dropped, I thought Polt would at least lose like 2 or 3 SCVs.
Yeah.
Not too many because the Marines were already in place.
No, you're right.
And I was waiting for the SCVs to detonate, and then suddenly I realized he's moving them back.
You know, it's the same thing. I actually was waiting for that to happen too. I was like waiting to hear the explosions, and I just figured I'd missed it or something. But that's actually really cool.
We have now +1 attack for both players being researched. They both go for stim. Polt is a little bit ahead when it comes down to his stim timing. He's actually he's way ahead. He already finished it, and MMA just started it. So let's not belittle that difference. But at the same time, we have the expansion, the third base being built for MMA, while Polt is still on 2. And the tanks do a number on that one Marine that was sent to scout the choke point.
Yep, Polt continuing to just get out his upgrades. He's got 1-1 going. He's got stim going as well. And, yeah, I mean, this build is looking pretty familiar. It's just going to get out a lot of stuff pretty quick. MMA is going ahead and... Wait, am I reading the... Never mind. Sorry, the side of the production tab is actually cut off on my monitor. It's actually MMA getting 1-1 and stim. My apologies for that. He's getting combat shields now as well.
Exactly, combat shield for MMA is on its way. His opponent already has combat shield and is getting the armory right now. MMA is lining up the armory once again, beautifully with his +1/+1 attack upgrade. We have seen that against Lenok as well. He didn't start +2/+2 straight away, but it's just nice to see that his timings are perfect when it comes down to the upgrades.
Now here we have MMA moving out for a little bit of a prod. He knows that Polt has just taken his expansion, so he's got to have pretty similar army. And he's just going to go ahead and take out that watchtower and fall back again. MMA built his expansion, his next command center rather, in his base to keep it protected. And so as a result, his third base is going to be mining a little bit slower than Polt's is, despite the fact they build them in almost the exact same time.
He doesn't have the orbital command upgrade, and I don't really agree with that decision if he doesn't plan on getting a planetary fortress. We'll see about that later. Now we have a sensor tower for MMA being built. His stim and combat shield are finishing at exactly the same time, and he's getting more medivacs right now. Having a quick look at the harvest account.
Oh, he's going in, but he's going to charge into tank fire if he's not careful. He picks off a tank and falls back with just a minimal damage taken. That was actually a pretty good little prod there.
Yeah, well done. Nice timing. And MMA is going for the planetary, okay? Then it makes sense not upgrading the orbital. So going for the planetary fortress, as is Polt at the third. And he's baited into the tank range. MMA getting off a couple of hits with the tank, with the siege tank.
Yeah, and he also forced a stim on all of Polt's units. So that was very effective.
And the +1 attack upgrade is already being researched for MMA. He's ahead in upgrades. He already has +1/+1, while Polt is now just researching the +1 armor.
Yeah, so he's definitely going to be ahead in that sense. And again, MMA is just pushing forward slowly and steadily. Now here's the thing. If it was sheer bio, this would be a problem for Polt because MMA could just push forward little by little with his tanks. But Polt does have a couple siege tanks in the background. He's buying time, though, for siege tech to finish. It's only about half done right now.
I love that MMA is using sensor towers. This gives him so much information, and Polt doesn't build any of these, so he might be surprised by the occasional drop. Right now, MMA is pulling forward, though both players are roughly the same supply, 146 against 145. And the third base of Polt might be attacked by MMM very soon. He's probably leaping forward, but now the stim and Polt charges in. The tanks are not sieged up just yet. Is he able to pull through? Both are dropping his supply. The tanks in the back finally being sieged up, not able to take down the Marines. And Polt is going for the attack, taking off the medivacs as well.
Wow, nice. Forcing MMA all the way back to his own planetary there. And I was just about to comment on how good it was of MMA to slowly leapfrog his tanks forward, only unsieging part of them at a time. But at that situation, he had just sieged up one and had unsieged three. And it was the perfect moment for Polt to take advantage of, to stim in there and kill off everything. MMA forced back. So MMA was about to put pressure on Polt's third, but now it's the other way around.
Polt is in a position where he can not only take down the sensor tower, but also attack the expansion, and that's exactly what's happening right now. And MMA is in trouble. He's trying to drop his opponent, he's scanning ahead, but he sees two missile turrets already in position. And wow, this is quite a difficult situation for MMA right now.
This better be good.
Yeah. Getting the +3 attack upgrade, MMA getting +3 and +2 armor. Polt researching the 2/2 upgrades, and look at that planetary. That planetary is in trouble. Will MMA be able to break that, or is he going to lose against MMA? Will we against Polt? Will we see the three-way tie?
Yeah, Polt needs to win this match. Everything's on the line for him here. Siege tanks trading fire, forced to scan because Polt does have that medevac overhead, keeping vision. But here comes MMA stimming in. The Marines were a little bit out of position. He's able to pick off a couple of tanks. He does not target fire down the other tank, though, so it does some major damage. Of course, the tanks in the background doing major damage as well. But both players trading blows, and Polt goes in. Oh, this might be a bad idea. The siege tank's able to do massive damage. May he just have too many Marines, though? It's just about an even trade there. MMA has that planetary, or he could have suffered major losses.
Polt is way ahead in supply. He's now 160 against 125, and MMA was killing that one tank that was able to shoot down the planetary fortress. MMA was biding a little bit time with killing those tanks, but he paid a huge price for that. And now Polt is ready to encounter him. Is in the range of the planetary, though, trying to target it down and attacking his opponent at the same time. This is too much. He's overextending to that attack.
Polt just didn't play that correctly at all. He actually just stimmed an attack move, and half of his Marines were pointlessly attacking the planetary while it was getting repaired instead of attacking the Marines. So even though MMA had less Marines, he had more Marines fighting in that battle. So MMA held that off despite Polt's major advantage. If he targeted the Marines down first and then the planetary, he could have just taken that out. But MMA holds on for a little longer. He needs to not overextend, though. He's still not out of the woods yet.
But Polt might just have thrown that game away. He had a major lead. Pressure onto MMA's third, was in a good position with his tanks, and he might just have thrown that one away.
Oh, MMA's loaded up everything in his medevacs, though. And Polt is pushing in slowly here, but oh, he's going to drop on the side. This is not good. MMA gets caught out of position and unsieged away from his planetary with all of his medevacs. He finally seizes up, but he's going to lose absolutely everything. Polt rolls over, kills every tank, few of the medevacs, every Marine as well. MMA is now behind 30 supply.
I couldn't see the vision of Polt, but seriously, if this was not an all-blind event, I would actually assume that Polt is using a map pack. This is amazing. Did he really see those medivacs? I don't know, or did he just assume, okay, I will have a look,
Maybe, well, I mean, he saw that there was no forces contending his push. Maybe he thought to check over there. MMA kind of panicked and dropped out instead of continuing with the attack. He could have just traded if he'd wanted to, theoretically. But, wow. Anyway,
how amazing is Polt today?
Well, if he wins this game, he will definitely be doing amazing. He's going to be tying it up. He's still at 2-1, though. MMA still has room to work with here. And he's not quite out of it completely yet. MMA is taking a 4th base in the bottom left, whereas Polt is not. Polt is getting close to max, though.
MMA is doing the better job when it comes down to his upgrades, but the army supply is now 50 supply in favor of MMA, and that third might fall.
Oh, he needs to move his tanks forward. The third is down. There's just too much DPS, and he's target firing the SCVs as well. So many of them repairing, but he needs to pull off more. And get the medevacs there, the planetary, it falls, and the Marines stem in a little bit too late. He needed to fight when the planetary was still alive, instead of fighting at the last moment. And Polt is now in a commanding position.
90 supply ahead. MMA is still in the upgrade lead, but Polt is closing that gap, is about to finish +3, and this... Wow, he's getting a 4th as well as getting another orbital command right now. And that situation, when he took down MMA's forces that were just being transferred over with the medivacs to attack the 3rd, that was game-winning moment for Polt. Definitely at that situation, he pulled ahead so far in supply, and this is a basically the loss of the planetary fortress is a direct consequence of that situation.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. And here he comes in, Polt, pushing forward with a ton of Marines. An absolute slaughter of Marines on both sides going on, but Polt just has too much supply, and MMA is going to lose all of his tanks. Polt not even fighting with his tanks in that battle. Still, and even hadn't even finished 3-3 at the time when that battle started. Still manages to come out ahead. He's just so far ahead now, taking a 4th of his own. Polt is just... He is starting to really...
There's a drop at the top right, and here it is. We have a small drop by MMA, and this time he's able to take down SCVs, but Polt reacts in time, uses a few... Oh, but those Marines might actually know they're not dying.
Nope.
Medevac is retreating.
Oh wow, Medevac barely gets out alive as well.
Polt can trade armies now. Can trade armies right now. He's definitely in a position where he can afford to do that, as he's on 4 bases against 3. I'm not 100% sure if he knows about the 4th of his opponent. He actually does. He might assume that MMA is on 2 bases now, but he should just... Nah, he's actually moving to the bottom of the map right now, and will make sure that there is no 4th, and if he finds that expansion, he's immediately going to attack.
Yeah, he is, I'm sorry, Polt is just so far ahead right now, it's ridiculous. He's almost maxed again. He's getting another base, although MMA is trying to get another base as well. But MMA is just backed into this corner here, and I don't think he's ever getting out of it.
Polt is ahead now when it comes down to the siege tank upgrades. He has +2 done, his opponent has +1. And now Polt is just moving forward, he's maxed out. He is maxed out, and he is getting additional command centers. He already has another one built right next to his 4th base, and MMA trying to flank his opponent, but Polt moving in with the Marines, trying to attack, taking down tanks. He is in the position to trade armies. That's exactly what he's doing right now. And he is now damaging the second base of his opponent. Job well done so far, Polt. An amazing performance today. But now his fourth is being attacked. Now a lot of Marines by MMA trying to take down those two bases. Polt
GG!
kills them. That's the GG. And we have the three-way tie.
That is correct. MMA, Polt, and Lenok are all at 3-1 right now, and the situation is such that MMA beat Lenok beat Polt, and Polt beat MMA, and because it's a three-way circle like that, it means that it's a three-way tie completely. We can't just go to the head-to-head to determine the tiebreaker. We're going to have to go to another set of games. And I am excited about that, actually. This has been such great games today. I was actually kind of rooting for Polt because I'm like, then we get to see more games!
And we get to see Lenok, MMA, and Polt again.
Yeah.
All of them are 3-1 right now in the group. And MMA won against Lenok. Lenok won against Polt, and Polt won against MMA.
Yeah, and I believe Lenok is definitely going to be playing the next match. I believe he's going to be playing MMA. I'm not certain, but we're going to find out in just a moment. But Lenok is definitely going to be playing a Terran pretty soon here, although Polt is just behind us being led back to his booth, so maybe not. Maybe he's going to be playing instead. We're going to find out in just a second.
To be honest,
but
I don't care. The games are going to be great.
And remember,
Doesn't matter who starts.
Yeah, and remember, all three of these guys are in the next round.
Yeah.
At least. What they're fighting for right now is first, second, third, because the first place, so I guess we have a second, we'll talk about this. You have 5 players in each group, right? And 3 of them advance from each group. The top players, I'm trying to do it like using my fingers to the top players go directly to the semifinals, right? And then the number 3 from this group and the number 2 from this group are going to play in one round of 6 match. The 3 and 2 from the other groups are going to play in the other match, and then the winners of that go up to face the first place players in the semifinals. So point being, let's say...
Can you do the thing with your hands again?
Let's say Lenok comes out in first place in this group, and MMA is second, and Polt is third. I'm just throwing that out there arbitrarily.
Do you want to draw it?
No, I don't want to draw it. Anyway, we're going to check out the replay, actually, from that last game real quick. This is a crucial point in the game where MMA was just getting his third setup, and I believe this is the point where MMA was starting to push against Polt. Yeah, this is where MMA was putting pressure on Polt because Polt had less siege tanks. So he couldn't quite engage because he had less siege tanks, and he was going to lose the straight-up fight, even though he had a tiny bit bigger supply.
Right now it's just... Yeah, they're tight in supply right now.
Oh, now they're tight in supply at this point.
Yeah,
that's right.
At that point they're tight, and now we have the upgrades, and the siege mode is not done for Polt at that point.
Oh yeah,
in time.
that's another reason why he had to stall for siege mode to complete. Anyway, if you guys want to find out more about the way the format works, there's a graphic on the website. You can go to GOMTV.net.
It's basically a tournament grid, and the 2 ranked 1 players in each group get a freebie in the first round.
That's pretty much what it is. That's a good way of explaining it. You didn't even have to use your fingers, Kaldor. And this is the point. Look at that. He's unsieged, and so this 2 siege tanks in the back only get 2 volleys off before all of the Marines go down, and they're polished off. So even though he had a siege tank advantage because he was not sieged up properly, not leapfrogging quite carefully enough, and people, that's what people say. They say, you know what? Mech is supposed to beat Bio if you play it perfectly, but MMA didn't play it perfectly, and Polt was able to take advantage of that situation. Of course, they were both going Marine tank, so it's not like one was playing completely mech or something like that. But point being, he was able to get an advantage because of that, and then it was just downhill from there. And of course, it was a downhill where he was like going down a hill, but then there was a point where the hill actually dropped off into a cliff, and that was when he loaded up a drop and lost all of his forces for no reason. And then, of course, he hit the bottom of the chasm when Polt mowed over his third altogether.
The moment in time when Polt started to get the momentum going for him was you mentioned it with the leapfrogging, when when MMA unsieged 3 tanks, Polt moved in, and from that point on he was able to pressure MMA's third.
Yeah. And MMA just made a couple mistakes here. Like in this instance, he almost killed that tank, and he didn't target fire it down. He instead just was on attack move and just was attacking the Marines. When there's only 3 siege tanks, killing off one of them can really greatly increase your chances of winning the Marine battle. And there's another situation where he didn't fight on his planetary fortress as effectively as he could. Polt made some mistakes as well. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to,
the planetary
slag on
attack.
MMA or anything like that. Yes, attacking the planetary fortress and that kind of thing. So, but little things like that can add up.
And this is exactly what happened. The planetary fortress attack right there, and then MMA was able to kill a whole army of Polt.
Yeah.
And this was a point of time where Polt was quite vulnerable, and he lost the momentum that he had going for him, so that was kind of difficult.
Yeah. But then MMA, he was on the ropes, and instead of, fighting back from the ropes, he decided to just jump backwards over the ropes and face plant into the stage area. And
after the finger thingy and that,
it's just tea, man.
No.
Look, you want to look at the ingredients? They're in Korean, but...
Oh, well, you have a tea bag right there. I'll give you that, but that's not tea in there.
It's tea. All right, let's check out the current results that we have right here in case you weren't aware of it. Look at that. MMA, Lenok, and Polt all in first place. We've all decided that they're all such nice guys that we're just going to have them all be first place so no one has to lose. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to have some more games. It's a battle to the death. Or to the less death than others, because remember, all 3 of those guys are going to advance.
Yeah, to the last probe when it comes down to the last 2 players in that group, Nesty and Naniwa.
Yep.
The game they had going was deciding who's going to end up 4th and 5th, and Naniwa was so frustrated by the games that he couldn't be bothered, apparently.
Yeah,
and
he basically just threw the game away.
Yes.
Just to get it over with as soon as possible. 1 minute and 26 seconds is all it took. So, yeah.
We have Lenok, by the way, in the lobby.
Lenok is in the lobby. And who are we going to see as his opponent? I think it's going to be MMA.
Yep. MMA is getting the invite.
There we go.
It's time to have revenge.
He had played less recently, so that's why we try and mix it up that way.
And I can promise you one thing.
What can you promise us, Caldor?
Even if MMA is going for the proxy barracks, which I seriously doubt, Lenok is this time going to scout it.
Oh yeah.
He's not losing that hatchery against MMA again. Not that early in the game.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's something that Dongregu is actually usually very good at, scouting everywhere. And I was a little surprised that Lenok was not kind of picking up on that trend amongst, that saved a couple games for, especially how cheesy this tournament has been. We've seen quite a bit of cheese from the Terran players yesterday as well. But we're going to get into tiebreaker number 1, set 11. The map is going to be Daybreak. A nice big macro-y map for MMA versus Lenok. Will the fighting macro of the mixed martial art Terran beat the Dream Kid? We're going to find out in just a moment. Can Lenok be stopped?